My brother got my wife pregnant, so I disappeared and cut my entire family out forever. I didn't scream. I didn't throw a single punch when I saw the positive pregnancy test in my brother's gym bag and then the text on my wife's phone, explicit, planned, and mocking. Something inside me didn't just break, it evaporated. I stood in our bedroom looking at Sarah. She was beautiful, and she was a stranger. "Is it Caleb's?" I asked. My voice was flat, no tremor, no heat. She froze. Her face went through a dozen colors before settling on a guilty, defiant pale. "Mark, I can explain. It was a mistake. We were drinking, and is it his?" "Yes," she whispered. "But he's your brother. We can figure this out. Family stays together." I didn't answer. I walked out of the room, grabbed my pre-packed emergency bag, and took my legal documents from the safe. The confrontation with my family was worse. My mother sat me down like I was the one being difficult. Caleb sat on the sofa looking at his shoes, trying to play the tortured soul card. "He's your blood, Mark," my mother said, patting my hand. "People make mistakes. Sarah is carrying your niece or nephew. We have to move forward as a unit." "You want me to stay?" I asked, looking at my father. "It's the right thing to do," he said. "Don't be selfish. Don't tear this family apart over an impulse." I looked at them, really looked at them. They weren't my protectors. They were my predators. "Okay," I said. That was the last word they ever heard me speak. I didn't file for divorce immediately. I didn't want the drama of a court battle yet. I wanted them to feel the void. I'd been planning my exit for 6 months, ever since I first suspected. I'd moved my savings into an offshore account. I'd secured a remote job under a different LLC. I'd even sold my car to a private buyer and rented a nondescript SUV. That night, while they were all at dinner discussing how to fix me, I left. I changed my phone number. I deleted every social media account. I wiped my hard drives. I moved 3 states away to a town where I knew no one. The first month was the hardest, not because I missed them, but because I had to unlearn the habit of caring. I started a new life, new name, new routine. I became a ghost with a paycheck. I found out through a private investigator I hired just to keep tabs on the wreckage. What happened next? The silence was a weapon they weren't prepared for. They expected me to blow up. They expected me to call and scream so they could play the victims. They expected me to beg for an explanation. Instead, they got nothing. Sarah lost the family unit she thought she was protecting. Without my income, the house went into foreclosure. Caleb, the golden boy, couldn't handle the pressure of being a father or the weight of what he'd done. He started drinking. He lost his job. My mother sent 1,000 emails to an address I had already deleted. My father tried to track my SSN, but I'd frozen everything. The PI sent me a video of them 6 months later. They were standing outside a courtroom for a mediation hearing I never showed up to. They looked haggard, gray. My mother was weeping, clutching Caleb's arm. Caleb looked like a shell of a man. Sarah stood 10 feet away, holding a screaming infant, looking utterly alone. They weren't mourning me. They were mourning the version of me that served them. They didn't have a villain to fight. They only had their own reflections in the mirror of my absence. A year to the day I left, I sent one single physical letter, no return address. It contained 2 things: a copy of the final divorce decree, signed in silence, and a screenshot of the text Caleb sent Sarah the night they conceived. "Mark will never find out. He's too loyal to leave us." Beneath the screenshot, I wrote one sentence: "You were wrong." I didn't wait for a reaction. I didn't check the news. I went back to my coffee and looked out at the mountains of my new home. The most powerful thing you can do to people who don't value your presence is to grant them the gift of your permanent absence. I am not angry anymore. I am not sad. I am simply gone. And every time the wind howls at their door, I know they wonder if it's finally me coming back to scream. But I never will. Silence is the only haunting they deserve.